chop that format, boy. Yes, it's time to take a look at the combined Wars Windcharger here. But why this little red fellow and not one from the other plethora of robots that I've had in the past few weeks I haven't even shown to a camera, let alone spoken about? Well, we'll get to that in due course, I guess. Unless maybe you'll figure it out yourself, like some sort of daytime whodunit. First things first, this guy's a redo of that 330 tailgate that I was all for, just for getting more Matumti bots, but really, he was a bit underwhelming, wasn't he? Being faithful to the comic design is one thing, but when that comic design is the most innocent, naive looking, just innocuous, cute round robot ever, when you're making a fighting robot toy of him, yeah, choosing the toddler of the group isn't really the best choice, is it? And then there was that naff weapon thing that he came with. So when pics of this Windcharger predictably surfaced, I looked at it in scorn. "That's exactly the kind of terrible Windcharger I knew they'd make out of this mould," I said. "Look at these proportions, that's not how you do a Windcharger, especially since we've had that perfect RTS Scout one." It's my first ever review.
Losers.
God. But then I remembered that that thing is like 4 years old now, and just doesn't quite fit with the way all these minibot guys are being done these days. So I cut Windcharger some slack. Then all the Combined Wars stuff suddenly exploded out of nowhere, and everyone was getting their hands on like all of it and needlessly buying this guy. And the more I saw, the more I heard about, I kind of thought, you know what, he doesn't actually look half bad. So fast forward a few months, a few in-hand sightings, and I may Asda one day and just decide, you know what, I'm going to take him home, even though there's still a thundercracker hanging on that peg that by rights I should have had first. So why? I've got to say, it comes down to a feeling I've not had in a long time, where you just see a new bot in hand and just think, you know what, that's nice. Really being taken by how it looks in person more than anything else. Not scrutinising it on the internet through reviews and galleries and in-hand pictures and what loads of people have said on Twitter. Just holding the thing in your hands, knowing that it's new and thinking, I like what I see here. And I don't think I've really bought anything like that since like 2010. So that was something that just felt good. But why is Windcharger here pretty nice? Well, for a start, he's shiny. It feels like almost exactly the same kind of metallic red plastic that they've used on the RTS Scout one. Because of that, I found myself liking this more because I'm feeling nostalgic about a figure that came out only 4 years ago. So along with this gorgeous plastic that brings out all the tiny, minute detail that you probably didn't see on tailgate, he's got all this lovely matte grey paint on him. All the paint, actually, even the black on his legs and the windows and all that, it's all matte. And it just feels really good, like some sort of carbon fibre stuff or something. It's properly swish. And you chuck in a little bit of that shiny silver that seems to be on every single Combined Wars figure. So I'm perfectly fine with pervading the entire line, unlike the chrome we had in AOE. And you know what, you've got a pretty slick looking deco here. All topped off with a shiny Autobot symbol and a very nicely painted noggin. His head is the only new tooling for this guy from Tailgate, and you know, it looks so good not being a baby face. Just lends this mould the kind of almost hard-edged feel that it kind of should have with the alt mode that it's got. And you know what, that is just a perfect Windcharger head, even down to the sort of happy to lend a hand look on his face. That's enough about paint. What can this robo do? One sticking point with Tailgate was his kind of hindered articulation, and yeah, you've got the same thing going on here. But it's not all too bad. His legs move all right, you know, he's got nice knees and hips, and sometimes, you know, he'll decide to bifurcate himself when you do that, but let's forget about that. I especially like the fact that his feet go inwards a bit, further than they have to for transformation to count as a point of articulation, and that's always nice to see. But his arms are a bit of a faff. Just all this car junk on the back and the tops of them just gets in the way, and it's annoying, and if you turn his arms the wrong way they'll just turn back into bits of car, and well, I guess that was true of the old RTS one, but I don't know. His elbows work alright though, I suppose. And if you can get your hands in there, thank Lord for my nimble fingers, his head can turn a bit. So there's that. So all in all, it's not bad posability, but it just adds up to sort of meaning that he only looks good in like 3 poses, and one of them's just the "I'm using magnets, bro" one. Water, fire, air and dirt. Because of the fact this guy has no accessories, you do just kind of have to imagine that he's doing his Magneto impression most of the time to get any kind of action fun out of him. But he has got 5 more hands, so you can just go and give him some massively oversized gun if you feel like it. And I'm really happy with that. Tailgate's little diggery mine plough pooper scooper mate was so rubbish that I'm actually happy that there's nothing to clutter this guy up and detract from just simple robot fun. He's just a regular red racing robo, and I like the fact that he's made just a little bit more of an innocent thing by not coming with guns and not having to look like some death machine. Just a robot turns into a car, just like the G1 minibots. But maybe that's why he died in the film. car time.
We got a theory. You see, Mike, we got a theory about magic and miracles.
Vroom vroom shake the room. I sped that up A, because I could, and B, because this is quite fiddly. Going from mode to mode with this guy isn't really that much fun. It just involves wedging bits in where they can fit and loads of stuff getting in the way. And yeah, it's not great. But when you're done, you have this shiny little muscle car. Bit like a Dodge Charger. No, it's really not. It's got shiny headlights, a shiny engine block that they haven't painted the pipey bits on, and matte black windows. Feels like it could use a badge somewhere, but I'm okay with it. Does the job if it does look a little bit austere. Still, you can enjoy all the nice shiny red here that lets you see even more detail than tailgate would have done. He's still got those 4 exhaust pipes jutting out the back. Why are they there? Oh, and of course, he's still got the port on the top there, so yeah. And he's not made to combine. See? No, it's just no. All in all, I like this car mode. It feels like we don't get enough just nice little red cars anymore. And I think overall that occupation of what used to be an average body type does lend Windcharger some favours. Every other figure in this line is trying to be something new and swish while still kind of being pretty G1. But Windcharger, well, probably being massively overlooked for it, just takes some of those old school cues, and he's decent for it, honestly. You couldn't tell already, I much prefer him to Tailgate, and I think, to be honest, he's my fave of the wave. Just for that happy red robot feel that he's got. So if you want to recapture some of that old world G1 charm that Classics updates just don't tend to try and recapture, go and pick a Windcharger up. He's not amazing, he's not the best, but he's good. And at the very least, shows just how on the ball Hasbro are at the moment. They can take a needless, shell-forming repaint like this and make it feel as flipping slick as it does. Sayonara!